Welcome to another day of Joseph Did You Know? And I'm already giggling and laughing, and I'm here with my beautiful, amazing friend from the West Coast. And I haven't seen her face live in so long. Miss Raquel, how are you this morning?
Fantastic. Hello, East Coast.
We are rainy and cloudy here, and I can tell from your window it is sunshine and beautiful as always.
Actually, this is very strange. It is the probably fourth or fifth day in a row. It's been a little chilly and foggy throughout the day, which is not normal here in
No.
LA.
No, that's where I go to like get my sunshine and sit on your rooftop and just
Yes,
love.
our famous rooftop that everybody just like hangs out at. It's now become our gym.
Yes. The best gym. Okay, you got to go on to her page and scroll and find pictures of this rooftop, because then you'll see and understand my obsession. It's just a small obsession I have with Raquel. Raquel is one of those individuals that when you meet, you can't help but fall in love with her. That is exactly how it happened. We happened to wear red. I love that red's my favorite color. We both wore red. I was like, hey. And it was love at first sight, and that was it. She's also one of those people like I just have to tell these stories because when you hear them, then you can understand. So we met in New York City at an event, stayed connected, and I think I said, hey, I'm coming to the West Coast in 3 months. So we don't even know each other really. We know people, we don't know each other. And she's like, hey, come and stay with me. Friends ever since. I did. I showed up at her doorstep. She picked me up, and that was it. So when you can make plans with somebody that you don't know, and 3 months later they are, actually fulfilling those plans, you got a good seat on your hand.
Just to let everybody here know, that is very, very Danny. It's like your newest best friend to everybody. She really is. And then it says something too when you first meet somebody and you feel enough trust in them to share like your deepest thoughts. And that's the way Danny and I were. So yeah.
It goes here, it's one of those. But okay, so that talks about, this is about love, life, and entrepreneurship. And if the story of how we met and how we became friends and so close doesn't just tie that with a bow around who you are, and I don't know what else is, but tell us a little bit about Raquel in a snapshot. Who is Raquel Sanchez?
One thing I've learned is that a part of who we are, whether or not we know our cultural background that much, who our great grandmother was, or a great grandfather, great uncle, they are really, truly a part of us. I never realized that. And I think I mentioned on social media that I've been obsessed with the show Chef's Table. And I don't binge watch it, like I stay up all night and watch like 4 or 5 episodes or 10 or 12, which I've done. Like Thrones. But the reason I love it is, one, because I have that passion for cooking, but the real reason is in the storytelling. And in the storytelling, it's more than about food. It's about your identity. And my identity, whether I knew it or not, since I was raised in the States, a lot of that Filipino culture is in me, and the history of it, and also the neighborhood that I grew up in. So, for instance, in the Philippines, my family was a very well-known, prominent family. My grandfather designed the capital of the Philippines. There's a street named after him. We were like, one of my maids tried to lose me a couple times at the marketplace. And, I just dropped my name, and they were eager to bring me back because they knew probably they were going to get a reward. But then when we moved to the States, life changed, because then we were nobody, So that's what I struggled with. And also like the adapting to a different culture, not really feeling truly accepted. And there's also that part of me where the part of my culture was, I hope my mom's not watching, but in the Asian culture, it's like very light of skin is admired. So as the second daughter, being dark of skin, I don't know if people understand, like, being brought up that way, like, there's such a, and in our culture too, it's so, the parents openly show their favorites,
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, and it's part of who I am. So I've always like tried to compensate. It actually benefited me, because in growing up, I'm like, okay, so I'm not, the pageant queen. I'm going to become the best dancer. I'm going to accelerate in academia, so that's who I am.
Wow. Some of those pieces that you were talking about, I didn't realize. You learn something new every day. And now that makes sense. I mean, you are such a giver. Okay, opening your home to a basic stranger, but you're my best friend. And even through this quarantine, you've been out giving in your community, making masks. And I mean, I'm watching these posts. You guys go, before the quarantine, you would go into Skid Row once a month, and you feed and you bring your whole community with you.
Yes.
It's not, you go big and you go large when you give. And that kind of makes sense. Do you feel like, because maybe you weren't the favorite, because of those circumstances growing up, part of your excelling not just wasn't a dance and your mind,
Yes,
but you don't want anybody to feel that way?
Yeah. It gave me a lot of empathy, So I remember when I was younger and I dated this guy, and he was big success, and he's like, "What's your superpower?" And I said, that I'm kind. And he's like, "Oh God, that's a terrible answer. Awful." And I was young and I was naive, and I took that at face value, and I let him make me feel less than. And then somewhere along in life, I learned it's really something amazing to have that compassion. So that's how I, wherever I go in life, I know that what will define me is what I can contribute to others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't see face value. You see much deeper into a person, whether they're on the street or they have a ball gown on. It doesn't matter. It's congruent across the board.
There was this one event, Danny, where we had a Beverly Hills event, and I was still at home, stuck at home working, making that event still happen as it was going. Kind of like what we're doing right now with the coronavirus, like we're building the plane as we're flying it. So that's how that event went. And
was that the Beverly Hills event that I was at, or a different one?
No, it was a different one.
Okay.
So, anyways, my stylist was there, my gown was there, and everything. I just had to get there. So I was in my pajamas and a baseball cap. I was like avoiding all the cameras.
Like going to pass the paparazzi or whatever it is. Just like, get me. Oh, I love that. That is kind of you. You're just like, you gotta make stuff happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. So tell me a little bit about how Kiss the Monkeys, Kiss the Mermaids started, because it's obviously came from this place of love and compassion, because that's how you are. And I think that's what defines your events and your community. And I always think when I say you do these award-winning events and all of this, it doesn't give it the right amount of description behind it. But how did this come about? First of all, the name, I love how you came up with the name. The story of that, because it is your love, it is who you are.
So Kiss Monkeys, well, we weren't sure what we were going to do. We knew that we wanted to have Alex had a big network from New York and myself from Chicago. And we were thinking, you know what, we're older and our age group, dating is a big thing now. So maybe we'll start a network of people where they can meet as singles and blah, blah, blah. So that's where the Kiss came from. The monkeys part is, that was my term of endearment for my daughter. So I've always wanted to name I knew I was going to have different businesses as I grew up, and I knew I wanted to name one of them for her. And Alex has 2 children, but I didn't tell him the motivation behind it. But I did let him believe it was his idea.
The secret's out now.
It's been out. It's the number one question, but
Yeah.
It's, that's how us women can manipulate and
Yeah, we have our tricks, we have our ways.
to let them think it's their idea.
And then how did it morph into, so we have this, but it's not now where singles can mingle and it's turned into something.
It's
so much more.
Yeah, it's so what it is, it's a network of entrepreneurs, artists, very eclectic crowd. And then we drew in nationally and internationally. Well, internationally because of Alex's tie-in with the UK and mine to the Filipino community. When I was younger, a few years before I moved to New York, and then here, a few friends and I gathered when the typhoon happened in the Philippines, Haiyan, and we put a drive together and we made local news. They camped out every day for like over a week, almost 2 weeks, to see what we were doing. One of my friends actually had to stay there overnight because we had so many donations. We started with a donation of 1 container, and I can't remember if it was like 13 or 18 containers we eventually ended up sending to the Philippines. So it was incredible. We were all over the news, the Senate. We were brought up to the Senate because they were trying to get us, what is it, C-13 plane, or I forget the big cargo plane. So
yeah, perfect. I know what that is.
Yeah. So, sorry, my ADD is getting to me.
That's okay. The container, the plane that you shipped off.
So what Kiss the Monkeys and Kiss the Mermaids is about is that that whole the network of philanthropists that we have. It's all about giving back. What can you do now that you've reached a certain level, or you want to reach a certain level? How can your life? What is your life legacy, and how do you get that? And I always feel it's in giving back, like I said in the beginning. It's in how can you serve others.
It's so true. So many people think serving means money, or I don't have that financial thing. So, they throw their hands up and they walk away, but it's so much more than that. It's, a kind smile. It's, giving just something small that you have around the house, or your time and your effort. There's so many other ways of, going about it. So now with all of this,
make a note on that though, too. There's a dear friend of ours. Her name is Bobby Champ. She's an acting coach. She, mentored Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, Scarlett Johansson, all the biggies, Ryan Reynolds. And she always tells her class, don't wait to be famous to be a philanthropist. Start right now. So it's a part of you. So it's authentic,
Yeah, that is the truth. You can't, That's a great point, that so many people wait till they've achieved whatever it is, X, before they start doing anything. And then it's kind of like, gosh, are you doing it for selfish reasons or are you doing it for pure reasons?
Right, exactly.
There's that balance of it. So what does it look like now? I mean,
oh my gosh, I don't know.
Changing. Where do we go from here?
I was just beginning to do a digital marketing business, and also with PR, website development and all that. And I think because of the timing, because we were connecting it to our events. Once we had our events, like the designers that were starting to come on said, oh, I just did my event. That's newsworthy. So we had something to create news. So I think it's like the timing. I feel terrible for these like businesses that were just in the onset of just, opening up and expecting it to happen. And then the pandemic hit us. So that right now I'm still building, and I kind of like that because this way I can really build a great foundation. I'm doing that with one of my friends that helped me with the Help for High-End and his team in the Philippines. Raymond, I hope you're listening. I don't know if you guys are even awake over there right now. But yeah, but on the other side of that, we don't know, because we don't know what's happening. We don't know when we're going to see the next Dodgers game. We don't know when, when we get to go to a new concert, and how it's going to happen. So I guess we'll wait and see. But it's also a great time to figure it out, right?
God, I'm telling you, Terry over here, Terry Ann, she was like, you need a Kiss the Monkeys Zoom, like a Zoom party.
Yes, Terry, you know what? I saw your name, but I didn't. I saw her that she texted me. I love you, Terry. Thank you for helping us distribute the mask out to your nurses. You're so wonderful. She is a beauty. Talk about a beauty. She is the pageant queen that gives back. It's funny because she walks our red carpet, and when she's not working, or when she's not a guest at our red carpet, I see her at other events volunteering. She's an amazing lady. I'm
now I'm gonna have to go stalk her and introduce myself, because now I want to know. I want amazing people around me. I want always have people that inspire and I can look up to. That is it. That is what all of it.
Sorry. So I want to take this time to like figure out all these things. Like, how Zoom just like spiked up.
Yeah.
And this time also, for instance, my niece is pregnant, and we're doing her baby shower online through Zoom. Before, you didn't connect with your family, overseas or whatever, and now you can, or you have a reason to.
Right.
Before you didn't. Yeah. So I'm learning things like that, like TikTok, the Zoom. What can you do to connect, when you can't do it face to face?
Do you think that maybe you will, during this time, take some of this new development like Zoom and those other platforms and kind of morph it and blend it into real events? Because my biggest fear is that people are going to get so comfortable with this new form of communication that we're going to lose the touch and feel of actual people. And I need people. Like, this is great, but I need to like hug people. I need to give them a kiss. I need to not live in fear. So where do you see this balance? Because literally that's my biggest fear, that we're going to turn into one of those sci-fi movies with a brown army that's fighting against like technology.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because Ted Kaczynski's manifesto is kind of like happening. But I think that's part of it. The imbalance in nature brought us there. But touching and hugging, that's a real basic human need. So I think when we get out of this and when we know that it's safe to, I think we're going to cherish that so much more.
Mm.
And yeah, I can't wait to see my daughter in Chicago and like hug her breathless, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think people definitely appreciate, instead of it just being just like a thing you do, it's going to
Mhm.
be a thing that you appreciate,
Yeah.
that hug, that snuggle, that, whatever name it is. But
Yeah.
maybe in your new adventures that you have going on, maybe you can start developing that there is a concept, because since I'm East Coast and you don't always get to this one, and the one time you did, I was in West Coast, I was like, are you flipping kidding me? My
That was
backyard
really,
and I'm in
I
yours?
couldn't blame you for that because we did have to change the date a few times.
I was like, so
That was not
Peter.
right. I needed to see my Danny.
No, and it was missed. But maybe there's some kind of balance that, Kiss the Monkeys can start having, where there is the real live, but then there's also some way to make it where from afar we can have our own house party, but we're at your party. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to start doing a girls' night out online because I've been doing things that I haven't had a chance to do, all the girly things like put on masks and try different recipes and things like that. So I wanted to get together with some of the mermaids and, just talk about that. I had like a stockpile of products that people gave me, as an influencer to try that I haven't gotten around to doing. But now I'm like, wow, this is neat. I have this skincare line that Prince Mario Max gave me like over a year ago, and I finally had a chance to like break it out, and I'm like, oh, this feels luxurious. So love it.
And the cool thing is people are home, so you could do it like at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when I'm starting to, pop my corks.
Yeah, same here. I'm like, is it too early? I don't think so. I got nothing else going on.
What's early? What day is it?
Oh my gosh, I wake up all the time and I'm like, sometimes I am in a state of confusion of what day it is. And it's not like I'm not doing anything, but there's
Right.
no structure to what I'm doing. So
Yes.
Saturday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I think that artist in me likes the lack of structure.
I can see, yes, that is definitely your world. So I think that you should definitely start doing it, girls, after late afternoon.
Girls' night out online.
Yes, like 3:00 before dinner or whatever. And I'm in. Let me know. I'm there. I'm there.
Right.
You can put your masks on. We can do whatever it is. And
I know, right? And let the guys like anonymously just watch women be women.
this is what it's really about. And there are guys that like that stuff, the masks and things like that, so they can join in, but you don't know.
You can have Raquel on there.
We don't wake up like this, or at least I don't, stuff that happens here. But in closing of this, and thank you so much for sharing your heart, who you are and where you're going, the little kind of drips and drabs of what's coming in your life. I'm excited to see that. I ask everybody this question. Today, in this moment, as we sit here and have this conversation and you just woke up, what does love mean to Raquel?
Love starts right here. So it's impossible to give love or get love until you find it within. So do whatever you have to do, any kind of soul searching. I recommend meditation and always exercise and seeking out your passion and what you want in life. And it brings you closer to yourself. And then children teach us that, but that's where it starts. So whatever, like I said, you have to do to find that. I had to learn to love myself despite the way I grew up feeling like I wasn't enough, so
Right.
that worked. And then I want to have my other half say
Oh
hello
yeah.
because he's a big part of.
There you are. How are you?
Hi, Danny.
Like,
I know. I
That's what I was
actually
saying.
kinda
I
like
haven't
it.
shaved for a month.
I like the beard. Do you
Well,
like the beard, Raquel?
different. It's certainly different. How are you?
Good. Living life, keeping myself busy, because if I'm not busy,
I see you're busy.
I got to figure out things to do, or it will not be good over here. We would all be so fat because I would be baking up a storm. That'd be all I do. So
I see a lot of friends baking. Oh my God, these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Wow. They're like making bunnies and
Okay, I'm not that fancy. I mean, the pictures look better, but they taste delicious. But anyway, so yeah. But I can't wait to come out there and see you guys, and just keep being you. That is it. Just keep doing you.
She's great. What a great interview. Love the interview. Well done, guys.
All right. Well, I love you, and everybody. Until next time, love hard and love pure, and we will see you.
Ciao.